Chief Constable, ISEC, officers, thank you for having me here. I'm a Jewish diplomat for the World Jewish Congress with a representative body of Jewish communities in over 100 countries. And I want to thank you for inviting me here to speak. It was very hard to try and write some words for today, and I'm somebody who really speaks for a living, but there are no words. It's something I can't tell you how many drafts I'd put together and throw in the bin, because what words can there possibly be to try to sum up what somebody like ISEC has been through? And I'm sure I speak for everybody here when I express the deepest gratitude to you for having the courage to speak. It's a courage that none of us can begin to understand. Many of the officers in this room will have had to attend to awful incidents, which will have imprinted themselves on their memories and which are hard to talk about. But what you've seen at ISEC, what you've suffered, is beyond comprehension, and nevertheless you've got the fortitude and the sheer bravery to talk and to share your memories, and not just today but as often as you can, so future generations can know where hatred and where apathy can lead. A resurgence of anti-Semitism has shaken us. Anti-Semitism's got no political affiliation. It can come from all angles, from the left, from the right, from the centre, but it never goes away. It just hides under its rock and waits. And when it comes out, it's always a sign of bad things to come for everybody, a canary down the mine. In Toulouse in France, at a Jewish day school in 2012, a terrorist killed a young rabbi who was shielding his 3- and 6-year-old sons, then shooting to death both boys and an 8-year-old girl. In Halle in Germany, a country where in 2018, 1,799 anti-Semitic crimes were reported, a synagogue was attacked on Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar, resulting in 2 people being murdered. 3 years earlier, Jews killed in a kosher supermarket in Paris. And just 2 years ago, a Holocaust survivor, Marielle Knoll, having survived the hell of the Shoah, was murdered by a man whose stated aim was to kill a Jew. Last year, in the Aalst Carnival in Belgium, floats with caricatures of hook-nosed Jews sitting on money bags, straight out of Nazi Germany, was cheered through the streets. And I wish I could say that Britain, the country which led the fight against fascism, is immune. I can't. It's not. We've seen attacks on Jews on the streets of London, cemeteries desecrated, swastikas daubed on Jewish buildings, and of course, an exponential growth of the cancer of anti-Semitism on social media. And whilst many who have witnessed this were silent, perhaps fearing for their careers or how it may look, or because they simply didn't care enough, many spoke out against it. Celebrities, politicians, academics, and other normal, decent people. And in doing so, in speaking out against hatred against Jews, were subject to the most appalling abuse and harassment, but in spite of this, they had the courage to take a stand. They have our thanks for stopping Jews in Britain from feeling isolated at a time where many were sitting at our Shabbat tables, questioning whether we had a future in the country we all call home. Apathy and ignorance leads to forgetting. 75 years after the liberation of Auschwitz, how have we reached a stage where 45% of US adults can't name a concentration camp or ghetto? All I can say is we must remember. We must remember where intolerance can lead, where words can lead, where apathy can lead. In a world which feels divided, we've seen a worrying regrowth of anti-Semitism in Europe, where Holocaust deniers dare to preach their venom. And your work, ISEC, is more important than ever, because the people you speak to will remember you, and they will remember your words. And they'll speak of them and tell them to their children. They'll tell them of the horrors of what the world allowed to happen. and they'll carry your testimony with them, and they will remember. The Holocaust wouldn't have happened, couldn't have happened, if people of good intentions would have stood up. I have one simple request, it's a powerful one, to ask you all to take a stand with a simple gesture. The World Jewish Congress runs a campaign called the #WeRemember campaign, which encourages the world to remember the Holocaust. It's very simple. We have a stack of these, I think, just next to Alana over there. It's simply to take a sign like this and to take an image of yourself with it, or your families, or perhaps with ITSEC, holding the #WeRemember sign, and post it on your social media page and encourage others to do it. It catches on. Last year, the campaign reached over 1 billion people, billion with a B, on traditional and social media. Publish your photo with the #WeRemember and your message